Okay, we're going to begin. Thank you everybody for joining us today for our webinar over using learning artifacts as a way to communicate with parents, but also with... Okay, we're going to begin. Thank you everybody for joining us today for our webinar. Okay, I just mic'd it, so hopefully that you don't hear that again. Okay, so we are using Weebly here today. Weebly is a free website. It's also an application that you can get on your iPad or Android device. Absolutely free. It's a way to communicate with your parents as well as your students. By the way, I'm Frank Garza. I'm a fourth grade teacher here at Stedham Elementary. I teach math and science, and I'm joined by Takesha Jones, who is a kindergarten teacher, and she is our moderator today. So if you have any questions, feel free to type it inside the chat room, and she'll be able to answer those there. So let's begin talking about what Weebly is, what it looks like. I'm going to take you through the PowerPoint real quick, and then I'm actually show you live how to go through about the steps and just some quick and easy tricks that can get you started right away, so you don't have to feel boggled down with all this information. It's whatever you want to make it, whatever your class needs. So let's begin. To begin, we are going to go to our PowerPoint. And of course, it's called Weebly.com. It's a free site. It's pretty much set up for you to create a website of your choosing. If you are in business for yourself or a family member, they could also use this website to sell merchandise and set up an e-commerce that way. It's up to them. It is a pretty cool website, but we are using it as educators for our classes. So to begin, just go to Weebly.com. What I use it for in my classroom is to help parents know what's going on in the school, with reminders, tutorial dates, let them know what's going on with lesson planning, of course, so they can help their students out. Many parents want to help them out, but they're not sure how or where to find resources. There's a plethora of resources out there, but it's just, again, take it slow and let it evolve on its own, and you'll know what you'll need. So let's begin. Don't get worried. You don't have to remember another password, because guess what? Your account already exists. Your account is already there to go. Just click on that red button that has the G+. That's Google Plus. Do people still use that? I don't know. I've never used it. But if you go there and sign in with your GISD information like you would on your desktop, it'll get you logged into Weebly. That's it. You don't have to remember another password. Time saver, I tell you. Next. Once you log in to Weebly, it'll ask you, do you want to sell something? Are you on here to create your own e-store? Well, no. Unless that's something you want to do, you'll create that separately, of course, from your educational account. So make sure you say not now. I'm not going to sell anything right now. I want to create something to educate and to inform. Okay, so make sure you click not now, and then it'll take you to creating a website. It'll ask you to edit site or create site. You'll click on that, and then all you have to do really is to select your purpose and your theme. Now, when you see this screen pop up, select a theme, they have it categorized by business, by personal use, events, blogs, things like that. But really, you could use any one of those themes because you're going to edit and add your own content to it. So don't think, oh, I can only use personal or I can only use portfolio. No, use any theme that you feel comfortable and that will let your parents know who you are. Okay, so again, you'll go through each category, preview the themes. It won't select it for you until you say, yep, this is the one I want. Preview all the themes, see what it looks like, look at the layout. You don't have to keep the layout either if you don't want. So there's a plethora of options out there. Find one that fits you, and then you just click this blue button here that says Start Editing, and boom, that's all you got to do. So again, there are endless possibilities of what themes you could have, what kind of content you want to add to it. This is my own class website. It's www.garza4th.weebly.com. You can use that as an example if you want. It is a live website. Um, some tips as you begin to create your Weebly website is to start small. You know, I've been using Weebly for what, almost 4 years now, and it's evolved into this thing that I never thought I did not start out like that. I'll tell you that. It was very basic and very minimal. But as I grew into my teaching and getting to learn the community, my students, the parents, I found out I needed to add more, and more. So it just evolved on its own. So really, I just started with whatever our grade level newsletter was. I added that to the website, and that was it. It was just one page, no biggie, and then it just began to evolve. So make sure you share that link, your website address, with your parents as much as possible. I printed on every single thing because, you know, sometimes students don't take their papers home or their Tuesday folders home, which I only have like 5 left. Um, so make sure you share that with your parents so they have access to it at all times, And I remind my parents, go on there and check it out because I'm always adding, I'm always editing. And then remember that it is a process. It is a process. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to keep up with it all the time as much as possible, especially if you're starting out. That's what I'm saying. Start small, start basic, and it'll evolve. You'll see. If you can do PowerPoint, you can definitely do Weebly. And your students can too. And this is what we're talking about. This is the kind of the theme of this webinar, which is to create learning artifacts that we can communicate with parents and with other students. Okay, we're going to look at that right now. One moment while I get to that site. This is the one I want. And here we are. So this is a website that one of my students created in 4th grade a couple of years ago. So this is all 4th grade student creating this website. We haven't gone through the process of steps on how to create it. I will do that in a moment. I just want to show you what it could look like because again, you're adding your own content. So here I have a student in 4th grade who went onto Weebly the same way I just told you and created their account. Of course, it was not a live website. I have the choice to take it live or not take it live, and I have access to it. So what I did is I had them, you know, I would go into their website and then I would post a question or prompt or something like that. For example, here is write an auto bio about you, your dreams, your friends, etc. You know, so I would do that and that would prompt them to, okay, I need to do this. And then so she wrote her little autobiography, you know, again, she's in 4th grade, so it's not much. And then she added some pictures that she enjoyed and she liked. But we're talking about learning, right? So let's look at those learning artifacts and findings. This was my GT group for the entire campus as I was managing that for a while. So don't think just because they were GT that your other students can't do it. They can, especially if it's technology. They're all about it. They can edit and customize. That's their favorite thing to do. That is what Weebly is. But we don't want to get caught up in customizing and decorating and all that. We want to make sure we're adding credible content. So here I had them create a blog, and not just a blog, they had specific goals to meet in this blog. They were to research a country, a city anywhere in the world, and explain what they learned about that country. So here was part 2 of her research. You know, she wrote her first part, and I was like, not bad. It's good. Let's look at a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that. She added her pictures that she chose with captions. I made sure they added captions. We need those text features. And here are some more pictures that she added about the city. And then, okay, so that was good enough for writing and for research, social studies. I said, but now we're going to be studying angles and measurements, which a lot of kids get scared with that because they're like, what? This is brand new. So I said, I want you to do research on that. Find out what you can find out about angles as much as possible, just so you have an understanding in case I have you present it to the class, because you want to get the students to use this tool, Weebly, as an educational tool. So peer-to-peer teaching. So she looked up some angles. She said, today I'm going to write about angles. There are 2 rays. And she gave examples and what they're called and what you use to measure angles. This is all from a 4th grader. Okay, next, I also had them do, since it was about February when we started this, said, I need you to do a research on Black history. Pick anybody who you want to pick, as long as it's not just a celebrity. Nothing, not that there's anything wrong with celebrities, but I said, give me a little bit more. Give me a little bit more. So she decided on this Thurgood Marshall. She did a bio on him, found some quotes, which I love the quotes that she found, and some pictures. You know, all of this was not done in one day. It took a few weeks to get the research complete, to go back and revise and edit and all that, and to find pictures and then quotes. Which quotes? Because there's so many quotes. So which ones speak to you? That's what she did. Okay. Now I'm going to show you real briefly is my class website, that www.garzaforth.weebly.com. Here's my class website and what it looks like. Again, don't get scared. Remember, start slowly, make it what you need, and it will evolve on its own. Here we have my website. I'm just using straight information that I get from administration as far as calendar dates, which all the dates are there from the beginning of the year, reminders. I have this app here that I'm using, Seesaw. I'm trying to use it in my class. I'm not great. I'm not perfect with this app, but I am trying to use it and see where can I get the most bang for my buck. And so it's evolving on its own. I have the schedule, but I also have the tutorial schedule because parents are always confused about when is tutoring? Is it today? Is it tomorrow? So they either pick up their kids or don't pick up their kids. So this is just as a reminder to them to make sure you pick up your kids on these days. Next, we have our lessons. Of course, I teach math and science, so parents want to know what's going on at school today. You know, they may not, kids come home and they say, oh, nothing, it was fine. Well, they can go online and see what exactly did we do? What should we be doing, at least for this grade cycle? So I have my grade cycles all the way to the 4th grade cycle for math and for science. The math is pretty cool because I like that I got these parent letters straight from SchoolNet. And so it just gives the parents a bunch of resources digitally. So all they have to do is click the link. So, hey, dear parent, this is what we're going to study today. Here are some websites, some books, some apps, some additional websites, in addition to the resources I provide through Weebly. Okay, and then here are the resources I did provide, some classroom resources, all the resources that we have available to us that I do use in class. I put it on there, Discovery Education, Extra Math, Khan Academy, Imagine Math, Bounce Pages, all the links to those websites, including Release Star, math questions, and just a little bit more resources I thought the kids could use for topics that we were studying in class at that time. Okay, and then we also have our Avid. We are an Avid campus. Woohoo, Avid. Let the parents know what it means, what our goals were, and just a little bit more information about what each goal means. And then, of course, information on how to get in contact with me, and then a link to our school website. Again, that is a lot. It is a lot. I get it. Start small, let it evolve to what you need, but also think about what your students need. Make sure your students are using this as a learning tool and as an artifact or a digital portfolio to show their parents, but also to teach each other. That's what we're trying to create here. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to our Weebly website again. You go to Weebly.com. You'll log in with your GISD information like you would on your desktop. It's going to ask you to create a site. I'm just going to add another site. And here's our site. It'll ask you to select the themes. See how I told you there was a bunch of themes you could select? I mean, they're all pretty. You could select whatever you need to fit your classroom. The pictures that you see in the backgrounds of these themes, those can be changed. That's not permanent. If you like the layout or if you like a certain picture, you can keep it, of course. You can change it to whatever you need. So that's our featured ones, our business themes. I think I got my class from a business theme. I don't remember. So, I mean, there's many you can choose and preview. I'm going to pick one of the features. Why not? Just the first one. No, actually, I don't like the first one. I like being picky now. Let's do this one right here. Sarah Smith. I'm going to choose that one. Okay, good. I'm glad that once you choose your theme, it's going to pop up this box right here. It's going to ask you to choose your website domain. That means the URL that you're going to give to your parents and students to have access to the website. Students' URL would be a little bit different because you'll be creating it. And if you want to take it live, you can. You don't have to take it live, but all that data and content will still be there for you to refer to or share with your own classroom. So it's not a safety issue. Digital citizenship, digital citizenship. So here you want to make sure that when you do create your domain URL that you do use that very first one. It says use a subdomain of weebly.com. So we'll call this practice. Oh, see how it's taken? I'll tell you if it's taken. Practice Garland. That one's not taken, so I can have that one. So the URL would be that http://practicegarland.weebly.com. If you choose just .com, like the second one, then you're going to have to pay for that. Nothing wrong with paying for it, but if you can have all access to this content without paying for it, then why would you? So make sure you choose the first one. You don't have to choose it now either. If you're like, I have no idea what to name it, then you don't have to name it. I'm going to continue. And here's our website. It's not live yet, but that is what the theme I chose, the layout. If I scroll down, it gives me options to drag elements here. I can change the background. See how it's already highlighted with that dashed line. So here are some quick things that you can do to get it set up and get it going. First thing is here on the left side, you will have all your options to edit, to add, to copy and paste links, pictures, things like that. They even have audio and video. I think you do have to pay for those too, though. But YouTube videos, you don't have to pay for those. Okay, so first thing you want to do is, of course, as you can see here, barely, you want to edit background or replace header. Again, if you can do PowerPoint, you can do this. Okay, if you find yourself that you're like, whoa, this layout is really crazy and complicated, no problem. Go back and change your theme. At the very top, it says themes. You can go back and you can change your theme to something else. Not an issue. Okay. I'm going to go back to building the page. So we're going to click and drag a title. We need a title for this. See, it tells you right there. Click here, and we'll put your title. Oh, welcome, Garland. I cannot type, apparently. Welcome, Garland. And it's done. Kind of like Word, it'll give you those options to make it bold. You can change your color, make it larger. Whoa, it just depends what you need. Kind of like that one, actually. Okay, these three little lines on the side will show you the pages that you do have. They are named differently, but again, you can change and edit anything in Weebly. You can say, this is my lesson plans, this is my resource page, whatever you want, or my students page, my morning class, my afternoon class, whatever you need. Okay, another thing that I find very useful is the button. I use that one a lot. As you saw on my resource page, I have a lot of resources. You'll just click and drag that button over. And here's our button right here, button text. You'll click on button text. Here you can change it to whatever your button is supposed to do. What I use my buttons for is as a link to get the parents or the students to resources they can use. So we'll say, I don't know, Math 1, Math, or actually our unit right now is fractions, so I'm just going to call it fractions. Okay, and then I can click right here where it says link and add a link about fractions, or you have all these other options. And usually I use the website URL, like YouTube videos, study jams, I mean, whatever that you can get a link to. I just click on that, copy, paste, done. And that button becomes live. And then it'll be there, fractions. So all they have to do once you take your website live is click on fractions. It'll take them to that link to study, to practice. And their parents can also look that up too, because some parents are like, well, I feel a little embarrassed because I'm not really sure how to do this math. No problem. Go to the website, click on a couple of those resources, get a little background knowledge on it. And so when your kid comes with a question, you're like, I remember this. I said, it's not a problem. I said, teachers do it all the time. I mean, I would love to think I have a great memory, but reality is I really don't. So the button's very useful. Again, if you want to add more text, you'll just click and drag it down here, the buttons. You can click there to add as much text as you want, as much text as you need. And again, you can change the size, you can change the color. What else do I use? Images. Image button, drag it over. And it'll say upload an image. Just click that and it gives you the options. You can upload images that you may have saved to your desktop, or you can go online and search them. Or if you have an image that you know the URL, I have no idea of the URL images that I get. I just go to Google, I type it in what I need, a robot, and it gives me a whole bunch of robots. I just select the one I like that fits, copy, and I drag it into here. I just drag it out of that Google page. I drag it onto my desktop, and then I drag it from my desktop here. I don't type it in. I do have my students do the search though. When they do the search, this is a caveat, if they do the search through Weebly, be cognizant of that because sometimes, the internet can be a little inappropriate at times. So make sure that they are searching or saving the pictures to a flash drive. If they want certain images for their project, maybe you can find those ahead of time and get those on a flash drive, and that way they can download them from there. If they do search, I would recommend that they use the library resources. I had my students use that one a lot. I said, okay, if you're going to find images, you need to go use one of our GISD library resources that we have available. But they could also go to Discovery Education. It's just unlimited possibilities. Okay, and so you'll have your image there. Okay, and then if you go to pages, remember how I said we had all these pages already pre-made? Well, say you don't like my work. That's an awful name for a page. Say you want to just highlight, delete, and say this is going to be our resources page. And it changes it. So now when you go back to pages, it'll say resources. You can change these other settings as well. So see, it's unlimited amounts of customizing this and making it what you need for your class, for your students, for whatever project you want them to present and teach others. So it's not just for the parents to know what's going on in class, what's going on at the campus, but have students take ownership of this and make it something that they can go back and refer to and teach others. Okay, and let me go here and stop. So I hope you have enjoyed that. Thank you for joining us today. I hope that if you had any questions, Keisha was able to answer those. If she was not, then you can definitely shoot me an email at fmgarza@garlandisd.net. And I'll be definitely glad to help you. Or I would come to your school and do a little presentation with you. So I definitely encourage you to try it out and to share your website. If you want to send it to us so we can take a little peek at it and how it looks, we could do that. And whoever has the best website, maybe I can get a prize or something. I'll think about that. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night.